Alright, you lot. Alright, I'm back again. I hope you're all well and dandy. And I know we talk about this quite a lot. Well, I know I do quite a lot of talking things, but I've been getting a lot of messages. I've always had them, but I keep getting them. Messages about, people buying cars. What one should I get? Where should I get it from? And people saying, I've gone out and bought this and it's no good, or the company hasn't delivered it, or something like that. So I'm going to warn you now. If you're not regular of this channel, I've got a little bit of a reputation for rambling. So if I end up rambling a lot, I'm sorry. But what I want to do is I want to sort of try to help some of you lot before you're buying your first one. There's a chap at the moment. He messaged me he emailed me actually. He was that desperate, and then he messaged me and he said we've been talking, and he's gone out. It's his first ever RC car, right? And he's just gone out and he's taken the advice of one of these dubious shops that sells all the Chinese shit, all the crap cheap stuff, bit like Nitro Tech. He's taken the advice, and it's turned out that they ain't even delivered it, so I feel a bit sorry for him on there. They told him they've dispatched it and it's gone from them with parcel faults, but they won't give him a tracking number. He's asked parcel faults. They said there's no parcels coming to your address. You know what I mean? But the other problem is people that are going out and they're looking for like a cheap car, because everyone goes by price, don't they? Cheaper the better apparently, but that ain't the case. But that's what they do, and they find these shops. Now they ask them, and because these shops want to sell the stock what they've got, obviously the cheap shit, they want to sell it. They want to get rid of it, don't they? They want to keep selling it. They don't care about the customer. Then they're going to get a crappy product. They just care about the money for themselves. So they say, oh, these are very good. Yeah, don't go out and buy a real branded one, because they're 800 quid, 800 pounds, just buy this 400 pound one from me, it'd be much better. And then they're like, oh really, okay, yeah, and they buy it. But then what happens is, because it's shit, the product is crap, like what I had. I've got experience of it. If you're regular, I've got experience of that from Nitro Tech, that petrol car thing, which is, I'm going to come on topic of that in a minute. And then what happens is, it breaks, or it's not very good. Then the customer service from that shop is no good, or they might appear to be nice, and usually they appear to be nice. Oh yeah, we'll sort this out, don't worry, we'll sort this out, but then nothing ever becomes of it, or they just do something even worse. And then they go off the hobby, they get put off of it, which I hate when people get put off of hobbies because of bad experiences, or put off of anything because of bad experiences. So the reason I've got this FTX Carnage here is because it's one of the cheaper brands, right? But it appears to be quite good. Now, if you're going to go for a petrol one, if you've decided you're going to go for a petrol car, you're going to have to spend, between 700 probably and over £1,000. Yeah, but it's tricky because petrol is a lot more. If you've not got any experience in RC cars, like a lot of people haven't, they just, I fancy one of those remote control cars, they think. So they look on Google or something like that, type it in, and up comes all these shops, petrol cars, usually Nitro Tech and other shitty ones like that. And I'm not going to name and shame all the ones I don't have any experience with, but I have experience with Nitro Tech. So I know that they are scammers, basically, and their customer service is no good, and the products they sell ain't any good. There's going to be good people, happy customers. I know some of you that comment, oh, I'm happy with my one, but if you are, you are. That's brilliant. So they look them up, and they sort of get taken in. So petrol is okay if you've got no experience really, because you've got less things. You haven't got glow starters. It wouldn't have had that if I dropped it. You haven't got glow starters to mess around with. All you got to do is get your petrol, you mix the oil into it, you put it in, you start it up and you go. You've not really got a lot, but petrol is more expensive. So if you're going to get into the hobby for the first ever thing and you don't know if you're going to like it, you ain't going to want to spend that much money. You could go second hand. You can get a second hand good one for about probably £400 or £500, or maybe less, maybe more, depending how old it is. But then you've got chances with second hand stuff, because you could be buying one that's got a lot of problems and been ragged to hell, and the seller's going, oh, that's brilliant, yeah, it starts first time with me, and you can get it home and it won't start yet. If you've got no experience, you want something. Because a lot of people get put off if something doesn't work. They think, oh, this ain't worth it. I've tried everything and I've had enough. So I would recommend that if you're on a budget of, say, anywhere between, well, at the maximum of £400, go and get a nitro car. Yeah, don't get it. Well, you can get electric if you want, but then you're not getting the experience of an engined one. It's different. It's a completely different experience. So go and find yourself a nitro car. Now this is where this FTX Carnage comes into play. This is probably made in China, but I don't think it is. It might well be. Who knows? But what I'm trying to get at with it is proper RC shops. I bought this particular one from Active Scale Models, which is a very reputable place, and I think Model Sports Limits also is a quite reputable place. But I'll always support Active Scale because they're my local model shop, and now the Tits, very good shop. Now they're one of the cheaper brands, £169. This whole car, £169, and it's a good quality car so far. All right. I haven't had too much testing with it. As you can see, there's only a few scrapes on the bottom of it. Bought it originally for my daughter, but we ain't really had a chance to go out, so I've just had little goes here and there to sort of give it a test and all that kind of stuff. Which there is a full review coming up, by the way. Now, it depends on your budget. If you've got like more of a higher end budget, go and buy a Kyosho or something like that, an Inferno, or even an MP9 or something like that. You know, I've got an MP9, very nice truck. Or buggy, I should say. But you've got to think, because a lot of people, they see videos on YouTube and they think, I want that, but when they look at it, they're going, oh, you know, that's £500, but I want that, and they go and buy it, but they don't realise, because that's for more experienced people, it's not kind of just ready, you know, start it up and go. There's a lot more maintenance and things and other stuff. But if you get one of these cheaper ones like this, it's within a range where, if you go off the hobby, £169 is a lot of money, but it's not £400, is it? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So if you decide that you don't particularly like the hobby, or you know, it's not your cup of tea after all, you can sell that for probably £100, providing you haven't ruined it, and you only lose 70 quid, but you might even sell it for more, who knows? Or even if you don't sell it, you put it in the cupboard. Well, you lost 170 quid, but you ain't lost it because it's still yours in the cupboard. So what I'm trying to say is, I definitely recommend that you have more of a think, because all these people that keep messaging me, they all seem to want petrol cars, and they go, I want a good one. I don't want a cheap one that's going to break. I want one that's going to last. Well, I'm like, well, in that case, then you've got to either expand your budget and you've got to buy a proper brand, HPI, Losi, and probably there's a couple of other brands that escape your mind for petrol ones. But they're a lot of money, because you do pay for the name, but you've got to remember that these proper established brands, they're probably better quality as well, but also you're paying for the testing and the time spent testing the designs and all that kind of stuff. Whereas with these cheap Chinese ones, or wherever else they may come from, the cheaper ones, they've probably not been tested as well, they're not built as well. So you've got to either be understanding that if you're going to spend the small money, then you're probably going to have to repair it a lot, or you know, put up with it breaking, or just have a bad design. There were several bad designs on that. How do you pronounce it? Awayu? I don't know how you even pronounce it. That white truggy thing that I bought from Nitro Tech, that I dare say some of you remember. That was an absolute crap design on the wheel hubs, because they're held on just by grub screws and they kept spinning around. Yeah, I could have drilled holes in it and put pins in it, but I'd had enough of it, and I decided that I didn't want to support that market anymore. And when I rang up Nitro Tech, I didn't like their attitude, and their customer service didn't know anything. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, you just have a good think. If you're watching this now because you're thinking about getting an RC car, but you want a petrol one, but you're looking at the cheaper ones because of the price, think more carefully about what you want to do, because you will be very disappointed with those cheaper ones. Trust me, you will. The ones that aren't a known brand, or if they might be known now, but the ones that aren't a proper brand, like those Chinese ones. There's plenty of shops out there selling them. They sprung up. There was one near me. It was called Sean's Models, and that was a ridiculous place. There's plenty of other ones that I won't mention because I don't want to be seen as running them down when I don't have any personal experience. But you can see just by the products they sell, they're all cheap shit things. And if you speak to people, if you look at the reviews of them on Google, like the Google review system, or even on their own website, a lot of the reviews are ridiculous. You know, oh, I ordered this next day delivery and it turned up a month later, or yeah, this wouldn't even start this, you know, blah blah blah. So, you know, you need to think more carefully. I really urge you to, and by all means, you can message me and ask me. I'm not like the expert or anything like that. You know, I've only been into RC for this year 18 years. So there's people out there that have been doing it for a lot longer than me and have dabbled their fingers in many more pies. But just think about it more, and I definitely recommend this. And in fact, I'm going to put a link to this actual car from Active Scale Models. And I'm going to put a link to Active Scale in the description of this video. They're not sponsored, they don't sponsor me, but because they're my local RC shop, and at the moment they are struggling because of all what's going on in the world, they've had to close their shop and they're only doing online orders. But I'll always support them, and if they weren't any good I wouldn't be supporting them, doesn't matter how local they are. But I send everyone there, and I get all my stuff from there if I can. So there we go, my friends. I hope I haven't sort of confused anybody. I try my best to sort of get my opinion across and help some of you out. Well, all of you out. I try to the best I can, because sometimes you just need. I'm guilty of it myself. You know, you get fixated on you want something and you don't look outside the box, and it only takes someone to come along and go, well, that one might be cheaper, and people are trying to sell you that, but it's not going to be as good as the real thing. That's just a knockoff. And you think, yeah, you're right. Think of it as if you was going to go and buy a pair of knockoff trainers, right, for 20 quid. The real things might be £100. Yeah, the real things, pair of trainers. But you go down the market for 20 quid, you get a pair of knockoff ones, you wear them for a month and the sole falls off, or whatever, you know. They're never going to be as good. Never going to be as good as the real thing. A lot of testing and experience goes into those real brands. The cheaper brands, nothing goes into them. They're no good. Any questions, or if you just don't like this video, then put it in the comments. I think I've gone about this in a good way, but anyway, I might do a follow-up, because I watched my other video when I tried to explain about the cheap stuff, and I think that didn't really make much sense. I'm surprised people didn't give me a lot of hate for that. Anyway, I hope you're all well. I'll catch you another day. I'm going to take this and have a little blast around on a bit of private land that I can go out on isolationary tomorrow. So probably have a bit of a video on that coming up. And just take care, everyone. Like I say, any questions, put in the comments. Other people can help you then. But if you want to talk to me direct, you're more than welcome to email me. The email address is on the About page, or just go on Instagram and send me a message anytime, whenever you want, my friends. Take care, wouldn't you? All the best.